Good evening, friends. Thanks for joining News Bites. And today we have a lot of interesting news uh, with regards to Dawood Ibrahim's raids. Then we have some news regarding, Kangana sort of took on Alia and Deepika, and also regarding Lalu Prasad Yadav. So I'll be speaking just a brief about all these news bits which happened recently. So starting with Dawood Ibrahim. So premises of family members of Dawood Ibrahim in Mumbai searched by ED, which is the Enforcement Directorate. Now, following the searches, the ED detained Salim Fruit and brought him to the office in Ballard Estate in South Mumbai for questioning. So sources said Fruit has been handling a big part of Dawood's business in Mumbai. So at least 70 officers of the ED on Tuesday searched 10 premises in Mumbai, including residences of Iqbal Kashkar, who is the brother of Dawood Ibrahim, Salim Fruit, he is the brother-in-law of Chota Shakil, and son of Dawood's sister Hasina Parker, among others in connection with the money laundering probe linked to Dawood and his aides. Now, sources said that the ED has registered a money laundering case against Dawood Ibrahim, Iqbal Mirchi, Chota Shakil, Hasina Parker, and Javed Chikna after it found several Hawala transactions linked to money illegally obtained through extortion, drug trafficking, sale of real estate in Nagpada and Bindi Bazar area of Mumbai, and other unlawful activities. So, following the searches, ED detained Salim Fruit and brought him to the office. And the ED money laundering case against Dawood is based on a fresh case filed by NIA earlier this month against the D company under the stringent Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. Dawood and several of his associates has been named by the NIA along with their roles in terror activities against India, including Hawala transactions. Now, the agency, according to sources, has established that the money trail linking the Hawala transactions to Ibrahim and his aides, said sources. It has also identified four Indian businessmen who have been conducting business with D company abroad. D company abroad. So the ED is most likely to search and question these businessmen in the next few weeks. This is what media said, and most of the money has been routed from India to Dubai. So, any guesses as to who these four businessmen are? Just let me know in the comments below. So, coming to the next piece of news is with regards to Lalu Prasad Yadav. Now, friends, if you remember that he was involved in the fodder scam case, which was long time back. So, Lalu Prasad is convicted in the 139 crore rupees fodder scam case. The quantum of punishment will be pronounced on February 18th, a CBI counsel said. Now, a special CBI court on Tuesday convicted Lalu Prasad Yadav in this case, and the quantum of punishment will be pronounced on February 18th. The court had on January 29th completed hearing arguments in this case and reserved its verdict. Now, Lalu Prasad has earlier been sentenced to 14 years in jail in four other fodder scam cases. He has been convicted, and the quantum of punishment will be pronounced on February 18th. Now, the special court of CBI, Judge S.K. Shashi had completed the hearing against 99 accused, including Lalu Prasad, which was underway since February last year. Arguments on behalf of the last accused, Dr. Shailendra Kumar, were completed on January 29. All the accused has been ordered to be physically present in the court on the day of the verdict. Now, of the original 170 accused in the case, 55 have died, 7 have become government witnesses, 2 have accepted the charges against them, and 6 are absconding. Now, the rupees 950 crore scam relates to fraudulent withdrawal of public funds from government treasuries in various districts of Bihar. Now, the RJD Supremo had been sentenced to 14 years in prison and slapped with a total fine of rupees 90 lakhs, has secured bail in the 4 cases related to Dumka, Deoghar, and Chaibasa treasuries. The fodder scam came to light in January 1996 after a raid at the Animal Husbandry Department. The CBI named Lallu as an accused in June 1997. The agency framed charges against Lallu and former Bihar Chief Minister Jagannath Mishra. In September 2013, the trial court convicted Prasad, Mishra, and 45 others in one of the cases related to the fodder scam, and Prasad was imprisoned in Ranchi jail. So, in December 2013, Supreme Court granted bail to Prasad in the case, while in December 2017, CBI court found him and 15 others guilty and sent them to Birsa Munda prison. Now, Jharkhand High Court granted bail to Prasad in April 2021. So, it looks like some action is being taken with regards to the central agencies in these particular cases with regards to the Lallu Prasad, fodder scam case, and also some the EDs raiding Dawood's residences and stuff. So a lot of good things are happening right now. And the next piece of news is quite amusing. I found is that after nearly 2 years, Riya Chakrabarti is, she says she's back to work after 2 years, and as you see, this is her Instagram, photo, and she's been doing some voice recording for something, and so this is what she wrote. Like, yesterday, I went to work after 2 years. A big thank you to all the people who stood by me through my toughest times. No matter what, the sun always shines. Never give up. So I cannot imagine that a prime accused in the case of SSR is she's roaming free, and then finally she gets work after so many years. So it's funny how the law, sometimes I wonder how the law works. Now the next piece of news is with regards to Kangana Ranaut, and it's quite amazing that she keeps shifting sides. Like, sometimes she's I've observed like her personally. Like, initially she was with the SSR movement, and then she took a U-turn in the SSR movement, and then she sort of she's now supporting Ekta Kapoor in the latest lockup sort of serial or whatever game it is, and now she takes spot shots. So the latest thing is that Kangana Ranaut has shared her review of Deepika Padukone's Guerrilla through a cryptic post. She said that this film, which was released on Amazon Prime, and she said that Kangana has called the Shakun Batra directorial as trash. She wrote, I'm also a millennial, but I identify and understand this kind of romance in the name of millennial new age. Urban movies doesn't sell trash, please. Bad movies are bad movies. No amount of skin show or pornography can save it. It's a basic fact. Koi gehraiya wali baat nahi hai. So along with it, Kangana shared a video clip of a song from Himalaya Ki God Mein, which was a 1965 film. And so now recently at a press conference, of the OTT reality show Lockup, she lashed out at a journalist who asked her for a comment on the controversy where a social media influencer had commented on Deepika and Ananya's clothes. So reacting to that, Kangana said, "Look here, I'm here to I'm here to defend those who can't defend themselves. All right, she can defend herself. So, uh, I think she refers to Deepika in this particular case, as she has the privilege and the platform, and I can't promote her films there. Sit down." So you can see she's very aggressive to the media and journalists, and that it's like surprising to me that she has completely taken a U-turn with regards to the SSR movement case, and she's switching sides, switching. She's changing colors like a chameleon for me, and let's see. So, and she also took a dig at Alia Bhatt's film Gangubai, and she shared a story on Instagram, which this is what she wrote in Instagram. So, government should take action against all the parents who are sexualizing underage children for money to promote biopic of famous pro and pimp who supplied girls to former Prime Minister uh, to Nehru and rose to power. Request at Smriti Irani, official G Minister of Women and Child Development, to please look into it. So there again, it's she's kind of a. I think Maya summed it up pretty much. Kangana is a chameleon. Depending on the situation and her own opportunities, she takes a stand. So she's not only a chameleon; she's an opportunist also. So yeah, she also. So coming to the next piece of news is with regards to this particular lady. Her name is Muskaan Zeenab. So she was the in the hijab row. She is the one who sort of shouted Allahu Akbar, and she. So it has been found out that from the media that father of her father Muskaan Zainab's father, who you see in this picture. So he is a member of the radical Islamic group PFI, right? So Muskaan Zainab, who's a student of PES College of Arts, Science and Commerce in Mandya in Karnataka, had come to the limelight after she was seen yelling Islamic slogans, Allahu Akbar, while wearing a burqa as the camera strategically captured a brave moment. The role of the radical Islamic organization Popular Front of India in orchestrating the ongoing hijab protest by instigating the Muslim students to create the hijab controversy in Udupi is now out in the open. In a sensational disclosure, it has been now revealed that Muskaan Zainab, who rose to fame during the hijab protest, has links to the radical Islamic organization PFI through her father. Now, according to media, Bibi Muskaan Zainab, um, who is this girl, who went viral recently after she was shouting the slogan. So she is the daughter of the PFI leader Abdul Sukur. Okay, and now the Hindu students who were protesting against the Muslim students in hijab and burqa chanted Jai Shri Ram in response to these slogans, right? And so Bibi Muskan later claimed that outsiders troubled her and added that her classmates and authorities at the PES college in Mandya supported her. Now, following her theatrics, Muskan is being hailed as another hero by the left liberal media establishment, which is not very surprising. The Islamists have been showering Muskan with gifts and rewards. And Maharashtra Congress MLA Zishan Siddiqui had paid a visit to her residence in Mandya and handed her an iPhone and a smartwatch for her so-called Courageous Act. Now, earlier on Wednesday, the Islamic outfit Jamiat Ulama e Hind had stoked a controversy by announcing a cash reward of 5 lakh rupees to this girl, Muskan Khan. Now, in addition, another burqa clad protester, Alia Asadi, is a cousin of high ranking PFI leader Nazad Asadi. The report also suggests that there are other protesting girls which are directly connected to the radical Islamic organization. So this is nothing but to sort of create discord and sort of confusion. And from this, it very well we can understand that it is like anti-India forces. You have Tukde gang, left liberal media. They are trying to sort of project, they're trying to sort of create chaos through all these trivial issues, and sort of project BJP in a very bad light. And now that the elections are going on, they hope that they can divide the vote and sort of win elections. So this is what I think of it. Now, coming to the next piece of news is with regards to Sonam Kapoor's husband, Anand Ahuja. Now, Sonam's husband, Anand Ahuja, is accused of tax fraud and giving fake bills. He calls it baseless slandering. Anand Ahuja denies furnishing fake invoices to pay less taxes and duties on his purchases. He called allegations against him baseless slandering, and he denied allegations of tax fraud and sending doctored invoices that were leveled against him by international shipping company. And this international shipping company's name is myus.com. So it all started last month when Anand tweeted about his horrible experience with the company. Does anyone know someone at the rate myus underscore shopaholic? I have been having horrible experience recently. They are holding items improperly, rejecting formal paperwork, and refusing to acknowledge any reasoning. So Sonam sort of supported his complaint by sharing his post and adding, "Terrible customer service is shameful." Now the company responded by accusing Anand of tax fraud. This is not a matter of customer service quality. New policies of holding items improperly, as was tweeted. Mr. Ahuja misrepresented the price he paid for sneakers purchased on eBay, which would result in him paying less tax and duties. Now, in another tweet, they added the doctor invoices list prices that were up to 90% less than what he paid for the goods. So, can you imagine the invoices list prices that were up to 90% less than what he paid for the goods? So, while our policy is to do our best to rectify any customer issues, we have a duty to uphold regulatory compliances. This is what the company, which is my US underscore shopaholic, said, right? Now, put very simply, we have a legal obligation to provide accurate information when sending international shipments. Both my US and Mr. Ahoja are subject to international export rules, and we intend to follow them. Anand called the allegations baseless slandering. You should watch your baseless slandering. You are the ones that refused to validate PDF receipts and bank statements just so that you could overcharge me and hold my goods longer to earn late fees. Anyways, I have now moved all the items and closed my account. Good riddance. So this is what Anand remarked. So it's kind of funny that even though they have so much of money that they want to sort of do tax evasion and what else? Even if Ahojas are in the wrong, they will still fight. Sonam Kapoor today wished Valentine Day and her location was Lahore, Pakistan. As soon as she was trolled, she deleted a post. So this is quite interesting. So you're saying that Sonam Kapoor was in Lahore, Pakistan yesterday. Okay, interesting. Sonam and company are well known for their dubious activities. Whom is she trying to fool? Good to see her troll for the Lahore point. Yeah, that's a nice one, Maya. The camera was strategically placed. The students with saffron were ready, and the act started as she made her entry. Yes, Soumya. It was like it was like a scene from a film. It was very well. The camera angles were perfect, and the scene was very well rehearsed, I believe, and planned. And now that you see the link with the PFI, it is quite obvious that it was politically motivated, and especially now it's elections time. So coming to the next piece of news is with regards to the NCP. So NCP disapproves of protests outside homes of opposition leaders in Maharashtra. Now, Nawab Malik said such protests can lead to law and order problems and are not acceptable in a democratic setup. The new trend of staging protests outside opposition leaders' residences or offices of rival parties is not right, and it can be detrimental to democracy. This is what the NCP warned on Monday in the wake of announcement of such demonstrations in Maharashtra by its ally Congress. Now, the Congress had recently declared Maharashtra-wide protests outside the residences of BJP leaders from the state, as it demanded an apology from Prime Minister Narendra Modi for allegedly insulting Maharashtra with his remarks made in context of the migrant crisis during the first phase of the coronavirus pandemic. The Congress was to stage a protest in Mumbai outside the official residence of Devendra Fadnavis ji. Now, the party, however, called off the protest temporarily, citing inconvenience caused to motorists. Now, the Mumbai police stopped Congress chief Nana Patel, who was to lead a protest outside his residence here and detain workers of the party. The NCP and Congress are part of the Shiv Sena-led MV, as you know. And the new trend of staging protests outside the residences of the opposition is not right. So the NCP spokesperson added such protests put strain on the local administration and police force. The Prime Minister, speaking in the Lok Sabha earlier this month, had said the Congress crossed all limits during the COVID-19 pandemic. During the first wave of the pandemic, when people were following the rules, Congress leaders were sort of standing at Mumbai train stations and snaring innocent laborers into fleeing to their native states. So yeah, Karthik says, yeah, kebab Malik. Anand Ahuja's company is called Shahi Exports. Maybe he lives like a king's life by involving in such cheap frauds. Yeah, how much money they need exactly? Yeah, Chitra. Maybe they just spend on footwears and handbags, especially for his wife Sonam Kapoor. So they have a very high lifestyle, and in order to maintain that very high lifestyle, they need a lot of money. And once you get used to a high level of luxury, it's very difficult for people like them to come down their luxury standards, and they do anything to make money, so whether it's any sort of illegal activities or anything. We have been so naive to be fed whatever media politicians and anti-social, anti-national elements wanted all these years, not anymore. We have awakened to the realities of how the nexus works. So that's a very good point by Saumya Rao. And actually, long before the internet and before social media was present, that we used to believe all the blind narratives set by the left media, like NDTV and Times and all those things. So we thought that was the truth. We used to blindly believe Bollywood, these stars are innocent and stuff. So now, because of the power of social media like Twitter, Google, YouTube, Facebook. So all these social media agencies have helped in awakening the reality, the harsh reality, I would call it, and people have started realizing now the harsh realities of all these industries like Bollywood or politics. So, and now even the left wing media are sort of realizing that people can no longer be fooled by their narratives. So, coming to the next piece of news is with regards to Russia and Ukraine. Uh, in what would be the first major step towards a de escalation in weeks of crisis, Russia's defense ministry spokesperson on Tuesday said the country that Russia was pulling back some of its forces near the Ukrainian border to their bases. So the Kremlin also has confirmed that troops are being pulled back, according to media reports, and Moscow had massed well over 130,000 troops near the Ukrainian borders. Now, meanwhile, the Indian embassy in Kiev, Ukraine, has asked the citizens who staying in Ukraine um, to consider leaving the country temporarily. So it said that the embassy will continue to function normally. So that's a piece of good news for me, for us, because we don't want any sort of unlikely war to happen between Russia and Ukraine, and we do hope it's a good step that you know Russia has withdrawn some of the troops, and we do hope that this situation is de-escalated so that it is good for the entire world. Because if this unlikely war happens, then it can create a lot of damage to each and every country in the world. Be it trade or be it the fuel price or whatever. So it'll have a very very adverse effect. Now, okay. The hijab controversy started in Udupi, Karnataka, the place of legendary Krishna temple. What if they were trying to make a point? What if they start such a thing in Madura also? Yeah, so this is a very good point raised by Karthik. And yeah, it's sort of like the Shaheen Bagh incident. They have ulterior motives behind this sort of hijab row, and it's all same thing. Like the citizenship amendment act was there before the COVID, and after that COVID happened, and then you have sort of what do you say, the farmers agitations. So these are all the roadblocks which the opposition sort of puts in the ruling party, which is BJP's way, so that the India's progress is checked, because they don't want India to become a very strong democratic country. So there are so many anti-national forces, ISI. You might have a deep state also. So like which we don't know. Like we may have a George Soros also. So these are a lot of factors which you should take into consideration. That a lot of people don't want to see India become a very strong, economic power, and so these are the ways in which they are trying to destabilize India. In a couple of years, all these Bollywood celebrities will disappear from the space. Worthless people, yeah. Now they want exams postponed till elections are over, which is proof that this was planned. Exactly, exactly. My dad was has worked in customs and central excise in Mumbai. These activities of tax evasion and screwing and playing with law is happening with from the early 1980s, and Dawood is also playing a big role in. Yeah, sensible life. Exactly. So right now, seriously doubt that Dawood Ibrahim is alive. I think most probably he is not alive because, as stated, that the Pakistani news channel accidentally sort of stated that this Dawood is he's not alive, and then they deleted that sort of news. So there must be a lot of other people within India and Pakistan who is doing all these illegal activities in his name. So Dawood is just a name for all these illegal activities. Renovation of Kashi Vishwanath Temple, the building of Ram Temple in Ayodhya, and the proposed activity in Mathura. All this has hurt the Qatar peacefuls a lot. Yes. We have been so naive to be fed whatever uh, media, politicians, and anti-social, anti-national elements wanted all these years. Not anymore. We have awakened and to the realities of how the nexus works. That's very good, Soumya. But I mean, all the people here, I would request you to sort of spread these videos and share awareness so that more and more youngsters become aware of all these activities. Was this another toolkit to divide people on Hindu Muslim, which is a sensitive issue? How does international India anti-India jump in so quick? Who informed them, or are they so jobless? Yes, Lakshmi, this is another toolkit. I sincerely believe that, and it is to sort of not only divide our society, it's to destabilize, the BJP government also, and to sort of divide the votes between Hindus and Muslims, and so that they can win elections in that regard also, and also create a disharmony. See Canada, they have imposed emergency. Modi should use this instrument to check anti-India force. Absolutely, Chitra. I don't know why he is sort of not implementing emergency. So I don't know, because he's very soft in certain issues. I find Modi ji to be very soft in certain issues. So I think he's playing the waiting game and seeing how much more it boils down to. And yeah, Karthik says karma is hitting it back in Canada. Keep supporting terrorists, you will dig your own grave. This is exactly what happened in Europe when they allowed the alleged immigrants openly. Yeah, so like now the truckers are sort of giving a hard time to Justin Trudeau in Canada, and so you see how karma plays a role here. So because initially Justin Trudeau supported the farmer protests in India, and now he's having it back. We know who prevented Dawood from coming to India and surrender after the Mumbai blast. This should probably tell us about the politicians involved in the latest raids of ED. I really hope that something big comes out of this raid of ED, Maya, and I do hope some big names drop. I really find amusing when he said Lalu name as Lalu. Lalu in Bihari means stupid or fool, which was apt because of his actions. I'm talking about Lalu Prasad Yadav. So whatever it is, like Lalu, Lalu. But I mean, even though he comes across as a comedian in all these Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha sort of meetings, but he's a very intelligent person, and intelligence of the wrong sense. So I see some of Rahul Gandhi in, you know, I see some of Lalu in Rahul Gandhi as well. So Rahul Gandhi may come out as a comedian who can give competition to Kapil Sharma, but deep down he's a very, sort of cunning, and he's quite intelligent, and it's not good for India that, some of his, um, we don't know what he's planning secretly. Lalu. Why only one arrest made from Dawood gang? We'll have to wait and see, True Indian. Don't forget that Lalu Prasad was invited to give a talk in Harvard University. Oh yeah, I remember that. I don't know on what basis Harvard University invited him, of all people. So that's all the news for today, friends, and hope to we'll catch tomorrow on another session. Uh, Good night.